Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Greater Susquehanna Valley YMCA Annual Meeting. I'm Bonnie McDowell, the CEO of the GSV YMCA, and it's my honor to welcome our YMCA volunteers, Y members, staff, donors, and friends who have logged in this evening for a unique opportunity we have to share our year in review. For the second time, due to the pandemic, this annual meeting is being held virtually instead of our annual dinner meeting. Tonight, we'll do our best to share with you how the GSV YMCA made a difference throughout a year unlike any other and celebrate our Y's accomplishments. Our agenda will include an invocation followed by President Dr. John Gataski's review of our 2021 annual report, recognizing our incoming board members, a few recognitions, and staff milestones. We'll close our meeting with a slideshow of photos taken throughout 2021 displaying programs and community service. We ask that you keep your line muted to help throughout the presentation assist with sound quality for all. Also, if you're not familiar with Zoom, if you select in the top right corner of your screen, the view at the top, you can select speaker view, and then you can see the speaker presentation versus not that we don't want us to see everybody's smiling faces, but we're going to be presenting the annual report, and it'll be easier to see the pages of the annual report if it's on speaker view. At this time, I'm happy to introduce Laverne Eisworth. Laverne has been a longtime board member on our Sunbury branch board and our corporate board of directors, and through the use of technology and a positive part of having a virtual annual meeting is Laverne can join us all the way from most of the time sunny Florida. He says it's not so sunny today, but he's enjoying some time away from our Pennsylvania winter weather with his wife in Florida. And we thank you for being with us and offering our invocation tonight.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Can we please bow our heads? Our precious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity for bringing us all together this evening for our annual YMCA meeting. Help us to work as a unified team in combining excellent ideas. Also, dear Lord, please pour out your healing power for all those that are currently sick with the virus. We have been blessed with supportive members, staff, and board members. This has helped us to think, strategize, and ways to achieve productive results. Lord, please guide us so that this meeting can help us be effective and create a better place for our community. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laverne, and thanks again for logging in with us tonight from Florida. We'd like to kick off our meeting tonight by sharing a new YMCA of the USA video. This video was filmed with no trained actors. They're all just YMCA staff and Y members and volunteers engaging in YMCA programs in their local YMCAs. You may want to make sure your sound is up so that you can hear the volume and be able to hear the video well.
Y is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose. What makes us tick below the surface? Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
When I watch that video, it really makes me proud to be a part of the YMCA movement. It really represents any of our Ys, and we are so fortunate in the Susquehanna Valley to have our YMCA, a place for everyone to belong and be a part of. That is why we're here tonight, to celebrate the great work of our volunteers and staff and share all that we have accomplished over the past year. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to our corporate board of directors president, Dr. John Gataski, to open our meeting.
Thank you, Bonnie, and welcome everyone to our annual meeting segment of tonight's agenda. As your corporate board president, I officially call this meeting to order. We will begin the meeting with a presentation of our annual report. The annual report is the state of the Susquehanna Valley, GSV, YMCA, are a resume of our accomplishments this past year in all of our 4 branches that are part of the YMCA in the communities we serve. The Y supports families. 2021 marked the first year for all 4 of our Y branches offering programs that addressed food insecurity. The food distribution programs have been a tremendous help to families in need in our communities during the pandemic. It wasn't just the why about addressing this problem alone. We are excited and thankful for all the new partnerships with community organizations that have helped make the food distributions possible. What did we accomplish? Let me give you some statistics about our food distribution programs. Sunbury Y's Food Pantry gave away 12,000 pounds of food from July through December. Mifflinburg Y's Food Pantry served 770 families. Milton's Y distributed approximately 118,000 meals and snacks. And the Lewisburg Y at the Miller Center partnered with Union County Food Hub. Another program in support of families was the Sunbury Y's 18th annual coat drive. This year, more than 1,000 adults and children's coats, as well as hats, gloves, and scarves, were given away to community members in need. More than 30 volunteers helped make this event possible. We are most thankful to Steininger's Laundry and Day Cleaning for laundering the used coats. The coat drive giveaway was even featured on WNEP Channel 16 Evening News, and the Daily Item covered a story about it as well. Did you know the Y promotes safety? Now I would like to share some thoughts on the safety programs we promoted at our YMCAs. The Milton and Sunbury branches provided 367 swim lessons for children. We also provided training classes for lifeguard certification. This program helped train 100 individual young people who took their training skills into the community pools in the valley. Between Milton, Sunbury, and Lewisburg, the YMCAs, we were able to provide daycare for 133 children, after school care for 135 children, and summer camp for 172 children. And incidentally, the Lewisburg YMCA at the Miller Center after school childcare program was promoted to a Star 2 rating in the Keystone Stars program. Did you know our GSV YMCA members a chance to grow their leadership skills for their neighbors? A good example is our Teen Leaders Club at the Mifflinburg YMCA. The Teen Leaders Club in Mifflinburg collected 851 servings of food for the Mifflinburg Backpack Program during their Super Bowl of Caring Food Drive. The teens also volunteered at the United Methodist Church and served 200 Thanksgiving dinners. They even collected and filled Christmas stockings to give to residents at Riverwood Senior Living Community in Lewisburg. You do know the YMCA's mission has always been to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. During 2021, all 4 branches together were able to offer 4,532 group exercise classes with 33,912 total attendees. Quite a number of people involved in group exercise classes. We have extensive offerings of group exercise classes like Les Mills programs, cycling, Zumba, yoga, aquasize, and even arthritis aquasize. Our offerings not only focus on the physical, we've partnered with Geisinger this year to offer the Friendly Neighbors program, an outreach effort designed for those over 50 years old who are experiencing social isolation and are looking to become more connected in their communities. Did you know the Y is a place to be creative? We are lucky to have in our YMCA program offerings an art center in Sunbury. I call this our hidden gem. We are the only YMCA in Pennsylvania, in fact, in the United States, that has an art center aligned with the YMCA. Thanks to the tremendous and continued support from the Dagenstein Foundation, the Arts Center in Sunbury continues to flourish. During 2021, the YMCA Art Center in Sunbury offered advanced and beginners oil painting classes, as well as private lessons for all adults and children. The Arts Center also offered family-designed private art events. While we are discussing creative ventures, I would be remiss if I did not mention the Y2Y challenge promoted by Jeremy Huffman, the youth programming coordinator at our Mifflinburg YMCA. He came up with the idea and put the wheels in motion for this event to happen. They had 55 runners and walkers in a race that started in Mifflinburg and went 7.5 miles down the Buffalo Valley Rail Trail, ending at the Lewisburg Y at the Miller Center. And this event raised $1,300 for youth programs. It was a huge success, and it promises to be an annual event. And now let's take a look at our financial report. Let's first focus on the membership breakdown. Looking at the circle graph on the left side of the sheet, you will see the breakdown of totals in membership by age groups. But before we get into depth on that, Note on the top, we have a total of 11,369 members. And the breakdown between males and females is pretty close. There's 400 difference between the males and the females, 400 more males than females. And looking at the graph that I mentioned at the beginning, 3 age groups stand out as comprising of a 65.41% of our totals. And they are the age groups 18 to 29, 30 to 54, and the 65 plus group. Our smallest age group is in the membership of the 55 to 64 age group with only 7.3%. But as soon as these people reach 65, the numbers jump up because they're going into silver sneakers. We lost a lot of members in 2020 due to COVID-19. But during this last year, we saw an increase in our membership. We are now at 75% of our pre-COVID COVID-19 numbers. Now let's look at the financial report as far as expenses and revenue. Our revenue makers for the Y that brings in money for our operations is, of course, if you look at the graph on the bottom there below the expense ratio, childcare 40%, programs 25%, and membership 24%. Those 3 areas are our money makers that brings in revenue for our programs. And then our expense ratio on the top, program services 90% and 10% administration. Looking at the figures, the financial figures on the right-hand side of the column, you will see that we had revenue of $3.2 million, expenses of 2.8, with a variance of $406,724. And if we look at the variance on the bottom there, minus the $27,930, we have a surplus of $378,794. COVID-19 pandemic relief funding created an unusual surplus in 2021. These funds will be carried into 2022 to cover our continued membership and program losses due to the pandemic. I also want to note on this report the charitable giving, membership, program, and community giving. Now, we didn't give away $215,000 in money, but we did give the value of these dollars in scholarships and memberships to families and individuals in need. That's what we're all about. This is an organization. We are a caring organization, and that's why we have charitable giving for these people in need. Here is a list of our full list of our board members for 2021, and I would like to first of all mention that if you look down on the right-hand column on the bottom there, Union County Leadership Cabinet, this is the second year of the joint venture of the with Geisinger and Evan. Our partnership continues to help provide growth for membership and programs at our Lewisburg Y, as the leadership cabinet of volunteers raise funds to build a new child care center and an auditorium. I want to recognize all the individuals who have served on the boards of directors for the corporate board, Sunbury Branch Board, Milton Branch Board, Union County Branch Board, and as I mentioned before, the Union County Leadership Cabinet. Let's give them all a round of applause. I would be remiss if I did not recognize one individual from our corporate board who has given probably 30 plus years to our YMCA programs. And I'm speaking about Steve Engel. Steve, I hope you're listening or you're there. Steve, you've been a wonderful board member. We appreciate all your efforts. You've been a past corporate board president, and you're not only involved in YMCA, I know you're involved in many other community activities. You are community minded, and it was a pleasure working with you, and we wish you the very best in the future. Thank you, Steve. As this sheet describes it, your support makes it all possible. And it's a big thank you to all of you for your involvement. And now I would like to recognize the new and renewing board members and officers. And these are all the new corporate and branch board members. I'm going to read the names off and mention their terms of office. For the corporate board, class of 2024, yours truly, John Gutaski, Dave Zartman, Jim Apple, and George Fecker is new to this group. From Milton, Terry Locke, Karen Fry, Becky Scheller. From Union County, new to the corporate board, Robert Gutierrez. From the branch board of directors, the Sunbury branch, for 2-year terms as board officers, 2022, 2023. President, Tom McKee. Vice President, Amy Gresh. Secretary, Bill Shoemaker. Class of 2024. Tom McKee, President. Bill Shoemaker, Secretary. Laverne Eisworth, Mark Geeson, Bob Gerard, new. Jocelyn Schlegel, the new member, and John Santangelo, also new. Class of 2023 for a 2-year term, Fran Zartman, who is new also. Milton branch for 2-year terms as board officers, 2022 to 2023. President Carol Yost. Vice President Becky Scheller. Secretary Karen Fry. Class of 2024, Debbie Blystein, Jessica Steele, Tia Stahl. All 3 are new. Terry Locke, Aaron Wolf, and Becky Scheller. Class of 2023 for a 2-year term, Ken Chappell. Union County branch for 2-year terms as board officers, 2022, 2023. President Kathy Storm. Vice President Steve Cram. Class of 2024, Robert Gutierrez, Michelle Holman, Tiffany Snook, Morgan Mattern. The last three are all new. And that completes our new and renewing board members. Let's give them all a round of applause.
John, in the report, there were, I think it was on page 16, there are longevity notes there. Can we go back and look at those? Is that feasible?
Okay.
Employees who had been here, in their view, probably seemingly forever, but we're
I'm going to
grateful.
go over that next.
Oh, I got you. Okay, scratch that, John. All right.
Okay, okay.
I'll go back to the back row where I belong.
Thank you, John. I can just take it from there. Good transition. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, John, for such a thorough going over the annual report, sharing a lot of great information with us. And it's just exciting to see all the great work that it's hard to believe we accomplish all that in 1 year. So this is an exciting time, is to honor our staff that have hit milestones in 2021. And this year is extremely special. We have a milestone this year to celebrate that I don't believe our Y has ever given out before. That is 35 years of service. And that is going to Larry Fletcher. Many of you know Larry as Master Fletcher. He is our martial arts coordinator. Larry has served our Ys for over 3 decades, and in 2021 made the decision to retire. Since we could not honor Larry in person at our annual meeting, we decided to gather a small group of staff representing each branch together and video the presentation of us giving his pin, and we would like to share that with you.
Thank everybody and Larry for coming into the YMCA today. This is our presentation of years of service for Larry's dedicated 35 years. Unfortunately, we're not able to get together this year for our YMCA annual meeting like we normally do. So we asked him to come into the Y so we could recognize him and share our thoughts of how great he has been for the YMCA over the years and present him with a gift. But first I want to give him his 35 years of service pin.
Thank you.
So Larry, I've been able to work with you for 27 of those 35 years, and it has been an absolute privilege. What I've admired most about you is that you have worked with people of all ages, of all backgrounds, of all abilities, and you have absolutely treated every one of them the same, with the same respect, and guided them the same way. You have changed so many people's lives. Larry figured out that he has had over 2,500 participants in his classes over the 35 years. He has touched over 2,500 lives. And the changes that he has made in their lives, and I'm happy that I was able to witness that. The patience that you've had, the changes that I've heard parents say that you've made in their children, whether it was their behavior in school, or their improvements of grades, or someone who maybe has physical limitations that by taking your program we're able to improve. It's just been amazing. You have so much to be proud of. You've had an extraordinary career, and we're so blessed that you did that all at our YMCA. So thank you for everything, Larry.
Thank you.
I will never forget the first time that I saw you do a demonstration. It was one of the best moments, and one of the moments that made me just so in awe of you. When you broke those boards with your thumb, your thumb, people, that just blew me out of the water. And from that moment on, I was a Larry fan. That to me was just, I've never seen anybody at that point do such a thing, so I thought it was just absolutely amazing. And then watching for the past 21 years of my life in the Y, getting to see everything that you've done and be a small part of what you do, And the appreciation and respect I have for you is more than I could put into words. And I am very grateful for everything you've done for us.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys are gonna have me choked up here.
So I had the privilege of working with Larry as we started Mifflinburg program, so we didn't even have a facility yet. And one of the things that I remember most about Larry is the impact he had on one particular family. So this family, the boy's name is Cole, and Cole was in the very first class at Mifflinburg, and that week his baby brother was born. Fast forward probably 5 or 6 years, baby brother was also in the program. Fast forward another couple of years, the dad joined the program. So they have just continued on and on. So, you know, you have affected multiple generations and so many people, and we are grateful for that.
Larry's career started at the Sunbury YMCA, and then he began teaching classes at the Milton Y and Mifflinburg, and lastly, Lewisburg YMCA before classes ended, so.
I like to spread my love.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. Do you have anything else you'd like to share?
Well, I do want to say something, if I can get through this.
Okay.
It's an absolute honor working at the YMCA. The people that I've met, the children that have come to the program, those little kids that joined the program are now, and this is the honest God truth, are now doctors. I have one that's a doctor out in California. I have military snipers. I have international business. These kids have grown up, and I'm not saying that I put them where they're at today, but I like to think that maybe I was just a little bit of an influence somewhere along the line for them. And the adults, Jerome at Sunbury, I love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And although Jerome has some disabilities, as they say, disabilities, I have never seen anybody practice and be so dedicated as that young man is. But anyways, back to you. You guys, without you, I wouldn't have been here at all either. So I love you. I love the YMCA.
I know Larry's with us tonight, so congratulations, Larry, on a career that has impacted so many. Let's give him a round of applause. And we have several other milestones this evening to congratulate. We have a 25 and a 20-year of service pin recipient. And I'm going to ask Ann Bossinger, who is our Sunbury YMCA co-executive director, to do that honor.
I'll start with the 25-year. Gail Tobin has served the Sunbury Y as a group exercise instructor for the past 25 years. There are countless numbers of members that Gail has inspired on their fitness journeys over the past 25 years. She has taught many styles and types of classes and champions all participants to enjoy exercise. Gail is phenomenal when working with individuals with disabilities. She is able to provide a positive exercise experience for them. Currently, Gail teaches Silver Sneakers classes both on land and in the water. The seniors love Gail's classes. Gail, we want to thank you for 25 years of service in our fitness department, and we hope for many more. Gail is on tonight. Thank you so much, Gail. And 20 years of service goes to Melissa Barnes. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to acknowledge Melissa's 20 years of service to the Y. Melissa served her years as the preschool teacher and then as the child care director. Miss Melissa cared for so many children over the years and is loved by all. She is currently still employed at the Y as a substitute in all of the child care areas. She works with infants, through our school-age childcare programs, and she helps to substitute in our summer day camp. Thank you, Melissa, for your dedication the past 20 years.
Congratulations, Larry, Gail, and Melissa. And I will ask Kimberly to pull up our list that has everybody's names listed, a great picture, a 3-generation picture of Larry there with his daughter and grandson who have all worked in the program over the years. So we will move on with the 15 years of service recognition, and that is Andrea Stoddard and Ginny Hollenbach. Both work at the Sunbury YMCA. Congratulations to both of them. We have 4 10-year pin recipients, and that's Amy Turpak, Tiffany Paust, Melanie Garrison, and Jill Snyder. They all work at the Sunbury Y as well. And then we have several 5 years of service being recognized for 5 years. We have quite a few from the Mifflinburg YMCA because they celebrated 5 years this in 2021. Darlene Bailey, June Bergen, Corinne Brocious, Giovanna Bua, Tiffany Kaitis, Katrina DeRussell, Rochelle Finnerty, Sharon Huff, Dolores Kalmos, Erica Montalvo, Vicky Pahutsky, Jean Potratz, Janet Stengel-Pauling, and Taylor Teichman. Thank you to all of you for your dedicated service, to our members and our program participants. You truly are what makes the YMCA what it is and the place that everyone wants to belong. So thank you. Let's give a round of applause to all of our staff that have achieved milestones. Okay, John, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, Katrina, we have some awards that I think you're going to give out now. Past president.
And we'll have Ann go first with the
Oh,
special.
Ann, go first, okay.
It is my honor and privilege to have this opportunity to acknowledge and thank Tom McKee for his time, dedication, and donations to plan and implement the daycare playground project. Tom has given endless hours seeding and watering the daycare playground. He then determined that it was time to contract a landscaping company to replace, regrade, and reseed the playground. Tom secured the landscaping company and secured funds in addition to his own donation to allow this project to happen. The project was completed in October of 2021. The playground looks amazing, and the landscaping company will come back in the spring of 2022 to apply fertilizer and weed control. They will also be back in the fall of 2022 to regrade and reseed the small daycare playground. This project is all due to the hard work and effort of Tom McKee. On behalf of the daycare children, the daycare staff, Katrina and myself, thank you, Tom, for making the outdoor daycare space so wonderful. Thank you, Tom McKee.
Thanks, Tom. Okay, Katrina, I think you're on board now.
So I have the pleasure of doing the past president recognition. So it is my honor to present the past president recognition to Diana Tockett. Diana has been a member of the Sunbury Y for over 29 years. She has served on various committees for 6 years, served on the Sunbury board for 6 years, and has been on our corporate board for the past 4 years. Diana has just finished a very challenging 2 years as our board president. For the first time in our Y history, we had every single board meeting via Zoom. That's never happened. Diana has volunteered countless hours with many projects in the Y, like painting projects, our annual coat drive, the annual campaign,
And most recently, Sunbury's first online auction, which was very successful. The family-owned business, MVT Flooring, has also been generous to the Y with donations of flooring, time, and talents. Diana has been an amazing support for Ann and I in our new roles as co-executive directors. We were only in our position for 6 months when COVID hit. The last 2 years has been very challenging, but Diana has always been there to answer any questions, lend her support, and guide us through many challenging decisions. As Ann and I have struggled with staffing in our Y, Diana was a leader in seeing that our staff were thanked for their service from the board of directors with a grab-and-go lunch and a personal thank you card to each of the staff. This was appreciated by all. Diana and the board understood the value in recognizing the staff for all their hard work during these unprecedented times. As Diana's term has ended as our board president, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for serving as our leader during the most challenging time the Y has faced. With your grace and guidance, we have persevered. Thank you, Diana.
Katrina, I'd like to say something. Thank you for the very kind words, first of all. But I am very honored and proud to have served on the board of directors and volunteer and support the Y mission. Excuse me. The last 2 years were somewhat challenging doing virtual meetings, but we have very committed and dedicated board members who helped and made that somewhat an easy transition. But it was a true blessing working with Ann, Katrina, and Bonnie, who are very supportive and patient and all three doing an exceptional job. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, Diana.
It's been an honor to serve with you.
Okay, Mr. Marshall, you're on next.
Thank you, Dr. Gutaski. It's an honor to be able to talk about the past recognition for the Milton YMCA, which it was Terry Locke. I have so much to be thankful for Terry, starting off her willingness to become our president before her term even started. With no questions asked, she stepped right in and everything transitioned smoothly. Her availability when needed. Anytime I reached out to her, she was always there for myself, her staff, when we had any questions or concerns or anything we wanted to bring to her attention. And we were real thankful for that. Her willingness to help out whenever needed without even asking a question. You know, when something was needed, Terry was always there. Like I said, never asked a question and was always willing to give information needed. And it was very, very, very helpful. Her leadership and Y vision definitely lived what the Y meant. Her caring demeanor, honesty, respect, and commitment to the Y's mission. Her wonderful ideas and recommendations to make the Milton YMCA a better place for all to enjoy. A true definition of a true leader. In general, thank you, Terry, for everything you've done for the Milton YMCA. It was an honor and a pleasure to acknowledge you as our branch board president, and I truly enjoyed every step of our journey together. Thank you, Terry.
Okay. I have some closing comments and then we'll go to a photo slideshow. In one of my past visits to the Dagenstein Youth Center at our Sunbury Y, I ventured upon a small bulletin board in the area that had a series of quotes on the bulletin board from famous people. One quote that sparked my interest was a quote from Mother Teresa of Calcutta. I'd like to share this quote with you. We ourselves feel that what we are doing is just a drop in the ocean, but the ocean would be less because of that missing drop. Let me repeat that. We ourselves feel that what we are doing is just a drop in the ocean, but the ocean would be less because of that missing drop. Applying that saying to our annual report tonight, we reviewed together and noted how our 4 branch YMCAs are involved in addressing food insecurity, helping those in need of coats, the needy, daycare for our children, healthy living activities, plus teen leadership activities. All of these activities are important to our ocean, the communities we serve. And we know we are making the communities we serve a better place for all of us. We are not just a drop in the ocean, but we are a viable movement in our communities promoting the YMCA core values of caring, honesty, respect, and responsibility. Thank you to all of our volunteers, support staff, members, partners, directors, corporate and branch board members, and our leadership group who helped make 2021 a success despite all the obstacles dealing with COVID-19. We all look forward to the time when we would get together and meet again and perhaps break bread and have an annual dinner meeting like we've had in past years. Hopefully that will take place next year at this time. Take care and stay warm. Good night, everyone.
As we say goodnight, yeah, that definitely deserves a round of applause. It's always a good photo slideshow when it gets you choked up a little bit. So as we say goodnight, I want to give a big thank you to Kimberly Wilkinson. You don't see her. She's behind the scene, our communication coordinator. She's been on the job only 6 months, and she did an absolutely fantastic job putting together our annual report and all the other media that you saw this evening. Really proud of you. Great job, Kimberly. It takes all of us to make it work, and we stand ready to meet whatever challenges may lie ahead of us in 2022. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to log in with us this evening. We appreciate all of your support and hope you enjoyed our program. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.